everybody. Thanks for joining us here on a new episode of DIY Smart Home Guy Live. We are with our friends John, of course, from the show. Say hi, everybody, John.
Hello. How you doing?
Original DIY Smart Home Guy. And I've got Eric from ModernDayTech. Eric, say hello.
Hey.
And, of course, Brandon Doyle from the Brandon Doyle YouTube channel and Realtor Magazine. Is that right? Realtor Magazine?
You got it.
Right. 1.5 million subscribers. It's a wonderful thing. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. We were all at CES this past week. So please, we're going to be talking about all the things we saw. If you want to leave comments in the comment area, we'll check those out, and we'll hopefully get to you guys as much as we can. So, yeah, thank you, everybody, for joining us. So I know we all know John. You know me, I hope, if you're watching this channel. Eric, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your channel here, and why are you here is the question.
Oh, that's a good question. I ask myself that every day. I call John up. John, why am I here?
Why?
John always has a good answer. He's my motivation. So I mostly cover smart home stuff, like obviously, but I do dabble into other things that might be fun and, put, a different path, in this world of YouTube and Amazon and other content creation. So you never know what you're going to get from me.
And you've got a couple channels. You've got a couple channels, right? You got a new review channel if you want to.
Yep. So all my Amazon stuff, it goes on another review channel. I have a tracking channel with all my Bluetooth trackers, John. Now on the
trackers. We need to remix that. All the classic songs do a remix. We need to do a remix on that video and get it out there again.
Yep, exactly. So anything Bluetooth trackers, GPS trackers are on that third channel, and then my main channels, smart home stuff or other tech that interests me, and I think my audience would like, and I just have fun with it.
Yeah, well, you're fun to hang out with too. You know a lot about this stuff, and you're like. You should see him in action at these shows. He's a mover and shaker, man. He knows people. He's making connections.
I didn't know this, but both Brandon and Eric know absolutely everybody.
Yeah, Brandon. Brandon basically. This was my first time at CES as a media, if you will. And Brandon's like, "Come with me, son."
Thank you. I took you under my wing.
You really did. So why don't you just tell people what you're up to here, and then we'll get into the CES stuff.
Yeah, so for sure. So a real estate agent by day, amateur DIY smart home enthusiast by night. So I'm a writer for Realtor Magazine, and then some friend of mine convinced me that I needed to do videos. So started with home tech decisions. He ended up having different priorities in life, and so I kind of pivoted the channel. Really focused on doing smart home tours, which were a lot of fun. And now I've changed the name, so it's Brandon Doyle MN, because Brandon Doyle was taken. But really, smart home tech, Tesla, EV, anything related to that. And then still doing a little bit of Amazon influencer and still writing for Realtor Magazine.
Yeah, you've seen some really amazing houses on your tour, so check out his channel and some pretty not amazing houses like mine. It was pretty great that you came and toured my house, so it's a lot of fun. Again, guys, if you have questions for anybody as we go along, please leave those in the comments. I see who we got there. We got Mark from This Sort House. Hey, thanks for joining us. I met him at CES, so yeah, very cool guy. We met at the Akara booth, so maybe he can chime in. We talk a little bit about Akara later on. So yeah, check out This Smart House channel when you guys get a chance. But let's just start right away. We were all at CES. Again, I was there for just one show day, a couple media days. Eric, you were there for the whole time. What is your biggest takeaway from the show this year?
Smart home is not dead. It's still at the very beginning, early stages, and we have a lot to learn. We have a lot to grow, and which we'll discuss some other things. And I saw the agenda, and so I think we still have a lot to learn from our past, and I feel like we're repeating history with some of the things that we saw at CES this year, and it just, I don't think, we'll see where it goes, but we're still at the very early stages of smart home stuff.
It's in some ways it's still the wild west, for
is.
sure.
Very much so.
So
Agree with that.
how about you, John?
Yeah, I would say that it was a lot of the same. You know, I always enjoy it, so I don't want by any means to say I didn't enjoy being there and seeing everything I saw. But in a way, I wasn't as blown away as I thought I should be. You know, with all the pumping on AI, and everybody was talking about AI, but I really had trouble seeing anything that was proving to me that they really had AI and it wasn't just a marketing banner. So I think my takeaway was next year should be better.
All right, how are you, Brandon?
Yeah, kind of to echo off of both those points. It's like if you're in marketing, just take AI and slap it on top of a product, in a new product. Otherwise, everything's matter now. Does it matter? I don't think
Does it
so.
matter? Yeah.
But to Eric's point, I think we're seeing an expansion of the smart home space, but also a contraction at the same time. And so less brands, but those brands are kind of branching out into different categories. And I think we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like the presence for some of the smart home space was not there as much as I thought it might be. Even from last year, I think there were fewer of the smaller brands and stuff. But it seems like it was interesting that there were some brands like, was it Oliver IQ and things like that that are trying to, you know, we're the DIY smart home guys here and we do it all ourselves. But it's turning home automation into a service is what their plan is, and it'll be interesting to see if that can work and bring more people into the space. And it does seem like companies are trying to make home automation easier in some respects, especially Kara, which we'll get to here in a minute. So I was kind of intrigued by some of that, but yeah, those are my big takeaways from CES. So what about, I mean, as far as the tech goes, what was maybe the one thing that you would be excited to try out in your homes that you saw at CES?
I'm just going to jump in, guys. The EcoVac lawnmower.
Yes.
It's on its way.
You got
It's a
one
little
coming?
cold outside right now, but I said yes. I've been waiting for a lawnmower for so long, and so I'm really excited to try it out and see what it's like.
Yeah, for sure. There were like 6 lawnmowers. Like literally, there were lawnmowers all over.
A lot more than that.
Yeah.
Ton.
Eric, have you used a robot?
No, but that I don't remember the brand, but the yellow one that can also be a snowblower.
Yard blower.
Yeah, something like that. That one looked badass.
Yeah. That was scary a little bit, like the idea of a snowblower roaming around without a person. But that would be fantastic. It would be absolutely fantastic to try. Yeah. So
I don't love the yellow color. I'll probably spray paint it like green or something. But
listen, I neither have a lawn nor snow, so you guys can keep all that stuff.
There was that pool thing, that little pool.
There is the pool. Yeah, the pool and the palm trees.
But yeah, robot lawnmower is definitely something I want to try out. So hopefully I'll get one of those for sure. That Yarbo thing was like, yeah, I'm from Minnesota. In my video, I'm like, Yarbo, send me something. Let's try it out here, right? I'm the guy for that. For me, the thing I really want to try out is that grill that the
Weber grill.
We'll talk more about that later on. But that thing just makes it look like you can be a complete dummy and cook the best steaks ever. So we'll talk about that. But I'm very excited to try that out if
unless you're on a farm that doesn't allow you to serve red meat.
Right. Weber.
I wonder if that's on purpose.
Oh, that had to be a mistake. Oh my gosh, that was So Weber.
Well, we'd cook you a nice thick tenderloin, but the farm won't let us.
Oh, my audio is not very good, huh? So it looks like can you guys hear me pretty well, or is it?
I can hear you.
You guys can hear me.
Yeah,
Steven,
it might be
is it choppy or is it just not very loud? I can adjust the volume, but I can't adjust the choppiness. Anyways, I hope my audio gets better as well. But yeah, the holy cow, the Weber thing. Yeah, they brought us out to this nice place. They showed off all the grills, and they served us an excellent meal, but they were not allowed by the venue to cook red meat. So we had fish, and we had duck. And
that's just unheard of. It was an outdoor venue. I never heard of such a thing.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think they're expecting it to be 30 degrees, but
Welcome to Vegas in January.
it is what it is, I guess. So sounds like, oh, my left audio's okay. Yeah. So, anyways, those are cool. I don't know, John. Did you have anything you were hoping to add?
No.
No.
Sorry, I was focused on your left channel.
I know. I'm working on it too. I think I can fix that. So we'll get that.
What I will say, and this is not smart home tech, but it still has me pretty jazzed. And we're going to throw some videos up in the member side of the channel. But as I was walking around, I found this Ho-Him lavalier wireless lavalier mic thing, and the audio on this in CES was amazing. Every other microphone I've ever used at CES, you pick up all the crowd noise. It was everywhere, and this little thing was just genius. So this is what I was excited about. Was I have been monkeying with audio. This is a great segue because Pete's having audio problems right now. I've been monkeying with audio for 6 years on this channel, and this is liberating. So anything that I shoot off my phone now is going to be done with these because they were pretty good. Sounds a little muddy with a lot of crowd noise, but it's better than anything you're going to get off a stick mic or headphones or whatever. So
Yeah.
While we're on that topic, I brought the DJI Pocket
yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Absolutely love this thing. This thing was a beast. So
I was seeing a lot of those.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
you should get one.
Well, that's what I'm jealous means.
So okay.
That's code for I bought it on Amazon yesterday.
All right. How did this do anything to my audio, guys? Just for those that are listening, thumbs up, thumbs down, or I just make it worse? Probably did. Okay. Anyways, the one thing that we're talking about AI. Yeah, first of all, what do you think? I mean, we talked about AI. It was everywhere. It was absolutely. Some of it made sense. Some of it didn't. Overall, is this reliance on AI, is this a good thing, or is this a bad thing?
Nope, says you're worse. I'll answer the question while you go back to fiddling, and then I'll let the other two chime in. You know, what I think Brandon said earlier about the consolidation and everybody's going for a play, I think that is going to be something that plays into AI. Everybody has an angle on your data now. And the only way the AI really is going to get to know anything is by starting to harvest more and more and more data. And, you know, anybody that's doing a lot of stuff in the cloud is probably going to take more advantage of the AI. And anybody that's doing anything local, there's probably going to be ways that you can do it, but I think it's going to be different than how it would play out if you had everything in the cloud. That's my take.
Yeah.
What say you, Eric and Brandon?
You know, when it comes to AI and the smart home, I think, you know, it's kind of, to me, it's not a big deal. I think we kind of have some automation suggestions now. It really depends on what level are you going to accept. Like when the AI says, I'm going to make this automation for your smart home without even asking for you, then, like you said, if the data's there and it's right, great. If it's not, you know, could be messing you up. So, you know, I think we're years away from stuff like that. But, you know, this is another buzzword this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. Like, if they can get to that stage where it can automate your house for you, that's where home automation needs to be. But right now, when they're touting things like Bali, which did you guys see Bali? It's the smart home.
It's Bali 2.0.
It's Bali 2.0, right? It's a little bit bigger, and what does it have?
Right.
It's got a projector.
That came out like a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a projector now or something. Like what's the point of that AI? That's not helping anybody out as far as I can tell. This is a Samsung little robot thing. We saw Amazon had a little robot thing that could like talk to your kids and apparently raise them. I don't know what, but there are all these little AI devices that were just toys, basically, aren't really helping out. But I did want to talk about that, the ability to use AI to develop your smart home, and that's where the Aqara M3 really impressed me. I don't know if you got a chance to see what the M3 hub was all about, but it has a number of features. For one, it's obviously Matter compatible, and a number of different protocols. But it also is going to have the ability to communicate with another hub and with the Matter devices, and basically store its information on multiple locations within your house. Everything's going to be local, and if your M3 hub goes down for whatever reason, your internet's not working, the M3 hub itself isn't working, your automations still work because all that data is still going to be on a different device in your hub, which was pretty cool. Now my volume's low. This is really working out well.
You right as you said, if your internet's not working, your video actually paused for me. So
wonderful. You know what? I bet my kids are probably playing video games like they're not supposed to be doing right now. Killing my.
So I don't have it right now, but I'm going to at this take this time to say I have a firewall in my house, and I can shut off device by device
Oh, I
at
can
any
totally
time.
do that.
I remember testing that. That was a good piece of tech.
I love it. It tells me everything I want to know about everybody, incoming and outgoing. Actually, it scares me because the amount of attacks that I witness on my house are amazing.
Really?
Really?
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised at who's trying to get into your house.
Wow.
So, so the other thing about the M3 hub, which was cool, and that's what I want to talk about here, is I'm trying to boost my volume here a little bit, see if that's working for you guys. Is the AI? They say that in a few months or whatever, they're going to release the ability to essentially talk to your hub with your voice and say, "Hey, I want these lights to turn on at 6 p.m. when I come home," or whatever, and it's going to figure out how to turn that into an automation, either via voice, or you could write text messages, or on your computer, that sort of thing. And that to me is how we get home automation to the masses, if they can make it that simple. Because John and I, we've had this conversation before we even went to CES and saw this. Like that, I've said this is how you do it. This is how you get automation for people to work. So, yeah, did you guys see that or?
Yeah, and if you look on the professional side as well, like we've got Josh AI and we've got like Savant and Crestron, they have their voice apps that are native. They're kind of taking your commands and doing multiple things at a time. And I'd love to see like the rest of the industry catch up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's like my Amazon device. I bark one order, then I argue with her for a while about what it was supposed to do, and then it might do the next thing. But I think you're right. You know, if Akara, this catches on, then the other hubs and the other providers are going to have to catch up and kind of make this really simple, like recommendations for automations.
Yeah. It has to work. Obviously, it has to work. Unlike my microphone that is now reverbing. So Steven's going to get me set straight here. But yeah, I like that they're working on it, and hopefully they can figure out so it works better than the ones you've tried in the past. I guess I was unaware of, you said it was Savant?
Yeah, so on the pro side, they have it, and it works great. But it's, you know, pro level, obviously it costs a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know, with all these hubs, we're going to be back into the hub wars. You know, people thought Matter was going to solve it all, but it actually made it worse. And now everybody wants to be your Matter hub.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm even starting to see people have fake certifications. Like some of these hubs that people are sending me, I'm realizing they're not actually certified for that protocols. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know, it's interesting. Like I mentioned earlier, I feel like we're going backwards again.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we're supposed to move away from hubs, but
Yep. But you need something to communicate with the devices. I know Matter, you need some sort of bridge, obviously, with Matter. And if you want it local, it's hard to not have some sort of hub, right? I mean,
that's where I sit squarely. There are too many personal experiences and other horror stories with being fully dependent on the cloud. So
yeah. So what Mark said, by the way, is called AI Copilot, is what the Carl calls this technology. And yeah, he says the dream is to have your house suggest the automations based on your patterns, which is, you know, a good idea, but it's also, I don't know how well they're gonna ever succeed at doing that. But yeah, very, very interesting to have another hub on the market, you know, and it would, like, you know, Homey and Habitat, like I mentioned in my last video, they're now Matter compatible. Homey is a complete what is it, thread bridge or thread
Border router.
Right, border router. That's the terminology right there. Yeah, so they're going in. Everyone's diving into Matter, whether they want to or not. So yeah, if Matter ever lives up to its hype, it'll be great for everybody. But we'll just have to wait and see if that's
Right. The dream of just going to the store, picking something up,
I know.
taking it home, and it just works.
It just works. It just works.
Yeah.
Someday, Matter is gonna end all protocols, just like every other protocol was supposed to do. Right?
Mhm.
My wife can
Until
figure
they
out we're
layer
there.
Their app,
Right.
and you need their app. It's like Philips Hue all over again. Like, yeah, it's Zigbee, but like,
Mhm.
yeah, you want to do all these things. Well, you still have to use their bridge. Okay, well, this is a fun.
Oh
exercise.
yeah, I mean, you talk like Iris, and there's excuse me, there's so many smart home tech things that came out early in the early cowboy days that like, oh, we've got a better way of skinning the cat.
John, what was the one that you used to use when we first got started? Was that Wink?
I was using Wink, yeah,
Wink.
Oh,
Wow.
gee,
Pulled
Yeah.
that out of the bag.
yeah.
how's that going?
Well, yeah. Well, I actually just ran across it in a box the other day. Yeah, no, I've still got a bunch of old X10 gear in a box, so that's how far back I go. I started my first smart home in 1986 with X10,
I was
command
1 year
over
old.
electricity. What's that?
I was 1 year old when you started your smart home.
All right, good night, everybody. I'm old. I gotta go to bed.
Nice.
No, it's
Yes.
fun teaching the history. So I wrote the course for the real estate agents. And I start with the history of like X10, and I even talk about like the clapper and like the Bill Gates estate, and how like now it's just like super easy and super cheap, and it's fun.
I remember the Clapper 2.
The what?
Clapper, there was a Clapper 2.
Oh, the clapper.
Clap on. Clap off.
Nice.
The Clapper.
That's it.
Nice. I thought you were talking about the copper top Duracell. I'm like, Duracell? What are we talking about here? So, all right, let's move on to some smart home tech. Let's talk about indoor smart home tech. Earlier. First, we got the lighting and ambience. Was a big presence there. Really like to see like Govee, GE Sync had some cool things. What do you guys think of what you saw from a lighting perspective?
I mean, Govee, that's a great example of like AI done right. So they had this like genie basically where you could say, do whatever color. So I did Minnesota Vikings. I'm not a sports fan at all, but that's what I came up with. And sure enough, it turned all the lights purple and gold. And I was like, that's fairly impressive, because you think to like create themes and stuff, it takes a lot of time, and but to just do it that quick. And I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, for sure. And they said they're adding some AI to their TV lights, the T2 or whatever they got. So like when there's an explosion in the middle of the screen, it'll resonate out to the rest of because usually it just figures out what's on the edge of the screen, but it'll be able to track what's in the middle and kind of push that out to the rest of your house, which is kind of cool. I was very impressed by the Govee booth, and like I said, GE Sync had some cool stuff with their lighting as well. Light had a really cool light. I don't know if you guys saw this. It's a indoor light that looks like a skylight, and it looks really good. Like it's something you could put, like if you have a basement bathroom or something, you could put this light. I mean, you really, unless you're right underneath it and looking, you can't really tell it's not a skylight. It looks so that's pretty good.
They actually debuted that at CES when we were out there.
Yeah.
It's the first time I saw it.
I saw it last year at CES.
Yeah, so the first time it was publicly shown, I should say. Yeah. They came out, and you can actually buy it now.
Yeah. They were right next to Nanoleaf, and like sky, like.
Yeah. So
I was surprised Nanoleaf and like honestly E-Light, their booths were kind of underwhelming this year compared to like Govee. Like Govee, like really.
But I feel like Govee even downsized from last year just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of companies.
It was impressive.
Yeah, but compared to the other ones, I thought they
Ring
really
was a huge house last year, and now this year it's like
they didn't have anything new.
Yeah.
There's nothing new to talk about, so they're just like, here we go.
Yeah.
Here's
I went up to the GE Sync studio.
Yeah.
And they have some really. I like their products. I just never got into it because it was never like with Apple Home or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But they're telling us now, was it 18? There's 4 coming out very soon, and then there's another 18 coming out with Matter sometime this year. So I kind of like their products. I think they're built well. They look good. And price is affordable.
Yeah, they had really good diffusion on the light strips as well. They were doing that demonstration where it was kind of just changing, and it was very natural looking. Whereas you kind of see the individual LEDs, and so I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, they had some panel lights too that go underneath the kitchen cabinets instead of just the LED strips that look like it diffused the light pretty nicely. It could be a good option for people. The other thing, it's not lights, but it's kind of this ambience, is the Smart Wing shades. I thought that was interesting. Some of the things they had.
That's what that is.
Is that what you got behind you there?
Yep.
Is that
the rollers?
So they've got new wooden ones or bamboo shades, right?
Yeah, you got to get the bamboo ones. Come on.
do you have?
It fit in good at John's house. You go with the bamboo in the bar.
Well, I've got bamboo in my office, so
hey, there you go.
But yeah, those are all going to be Matter compatible as well, and yeah, pretty cool looking with those. Then we had appliances. There were some cool appliances there. I thought it's kind of doesn't sound exciting, but the Whirlpool had this Slim Tech thing that I was shocked at how much. If you ever look at your insulation, which you have not, because why would you? But in a refrigerator, insulation is a couple inches thick, and they had this insulation that was super thin, which allows them to make these really small refrigerator. Like you could get a cabinet depth refrigerator that holds 20% more than other cabinet depth refrigerators or something like that. So I thought that was finally a good use of some. I think they said AI made that happen, because obviously why wouldn't it? But yeah, very good use of AI. Right there. So
and that they made it recyclable too. So like the inside insulation, you could take that out and reuse it, which is good, because a lot of refrigerators just end up in the landfill, and it's really hard to get the foam apart from like the metal and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anytime they can reduce waste is always a good thing. Of course, we got you guys all saw the LG. I did not see the LG TV in person. Did anyone get over there and see that? The clear, the transparent television?
Yeah.
Was that cool, or what did you think of that?
Yeah, it's cool. I saw it last year also. I was
there last year. Yeah.
Just had big display, and they had the one that's moving this year.
Yep.
I just don't know where someone will need that in the real world.
Right. In a house, like you're not gonna watch TV on that. It seemed like a cool, if you're like have an office or something, you want to run some stuff with some cool background stuff. So
I mean, I've seen houses where you kind of have like this fireplace in the middle between like 2 rooms, maybe something like that. Really high end stuff. Like your house would have to be set up correctly for something like that. But
yeah,
for most people, I don't see anyone ever getting one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm more of the one that would roll up. The new thin panels that they'll roll them up and roll them down, and it just fits in a small little thing. To me, that's far more practical. Personally, I mean, that's just me, but then you could put it at the end of your bed or whatever, and it could come up, watch TV, and then just go down automatically. Not hang 100-pound TV on your wall.
Yeah. And John, you need to get the paw port door. Did you see that one when we were there?
I did see that, and I'm expecting you to get them to send one to me.
I will do my best. But the paw port basically is a dog door, cat door, whatever you want to call it. But it has a locking mechanism. Did it use RFID? Is that how they? I'm trying to remember how they actually unlock the door for.
Yeah, they got it's like an RFID collar, and when it's in proximity, it'll unlock it.
But yeah, it seemed like a pretty clever and useful little gizmo. Right there.
Yeah, the big thing on that, it fit over your existing dog door.
Yeah.
Because we've seen stuff like that before. It's just never, you had to replace it. This one you just put right over the dog.
Yeah.
And
we've seen
a dog door
like sliders too, with sliding glass doors where they can open and shut. I've actually got a really cool tour on my channel where a guy has like a collar on his dog, and then it opens the slider and it raises the shades and stuff so the dog can get out.
Nice.
And then it shuts off when he's away and stuff, or if the weather is bad, so it doesn't get muddy paws. So kind of fun. My dogs, I don't know if they'd be smart enough to use the dog door thing. The one who's too fat, he'd probably get stuck. But
My dog still occasionally goes to the regular door and looks in like, who's going to let me in? Is there a human there? And he'll do that for about 10 minutes. Then he's like, oh, yeah, there's a dog door. And then he comes in. I don't know if he's forgetting or he's just, being a dog.
little from column A, little from column B, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just lazy. All right. Speaking of things that dogs are afraid of or not, robot vacuums. A lot of robot vacuums there at the show. So you guys, I've not ever personally had a robot vacuum. They're intriguing. Obviously, nobody likes to.
I have a horror story for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Does it involve a cat?
Not please. I don't know which animal was at fault here, but so obviously a long-time Roborock guy here. I've tested them all, and the latest iterations, as in last year's versions, they actually stepped back from the object recognition and sensitivity around cameras, which now they've gone back on that again. But so I've got, I think it's S7 Max E going right now. We had a poop incident. It hit, it kept going and smeared that son of a bitch all over.
Oh my
wife
God.
was not pleased about this.
Wow.
So I ended up doing robot surgery, and yeah, it was not fun.
No.
Did you have to bring out the robot vacuum carpet cleaner? Is there one of those?
Yeah, but the new version of Roborock, it's going to have that extra arm, so it's going to get really good into the corners where the poop is. I'm just kidding. The new ones, they brought back the object recognition, so hopefully that would avoid that. But yeah,
I'm going to say another place where AI just might help.
Yeah. And the other one was better. I got rid of that one though, because I'm always testing the latest one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I can't imagine that. That's
What a nightmare.
That's okay. It smeared it. Did it pick any of it up at least? Did it just?
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay.
Had to
It
be
was all up
everywhere.
in there, Pete. You don't want to know.
Oh gosh.
It was
Had to be.
everywhere. You can tell where the vacuum was too. It made a nice trail. Luckily, we caught it right away. Like I walked in the house, I was like, "What is that smell?"
Oh my God.
You pooped in the refrigerator.
And I am mad.
Wow.
All right. Well, nothing like a good poop story to make people laugh.
Right.
Next up.
All right. Well, that's it for our indoor technology. Yeah.
Oh no, there's so much more to unpack there, guys. There's so many innovations in the robot space.
Yeah. Eureka was a new one, right?
Yeah, so Eureka, they had the washer dryer where that would that would park in there. I thought that was pretty cool. EcoVac, they've got, what was that? The one that, no, it was Dreamy that had the anti-tangle, or had little knives that would cut the hairs so it wouldn't get caught up in the brush. That was good.
And it was Roborock had the one that you could connect to your water source, right, and drain, so it self-clean, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of
And Narwhal's had that for a while too, but it's very much a DIY. Like you got to find a spot in your house where you got both hot water and a drain line.
Yeah.
And the drain line's on the floor because drain water is not going to to go up. So
yeah, I didn't even think about
details.
It's got to be a pump, right? They've got to have a pump in there to get it.
You would really have to think ahead for this, or like add the plumbing after the fact.
I guess.
But I think it'd be really cool to have it like in a utility space, like underneath the cabinet.
I think that would work. What I could do, like I have the hot water in my utility room, and I could drain it down into the basement below it, which is just a storage room. I could.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you got a basement, you're probably okay.
Yeah, so I think I can make that work. But that is.
I think we need to see this happen.
I think we do. So.
We need more plumbing videos on the channel. I
Listen,
personally thought that was
out so well last
video.
time.
Hey,
Okay?
that video is it's going up, baby. It's climbing.
It's finding its audience. It's finding its audience.
Exactly. And that audience is looking at it and be like, what are these other home automation stuff? This is weird. So yeah, maybe we need to start a whole nother plumbing channel. We'll see about that. But It's a good
It's all
video.
about the views, baby.
It's a good video.
I just like the DIY angle. You know,
Yeah,
you're
see?
a regular guy, you're just figuring this out, and the trips to like Home Depot or whatever it was, I
The
thought
Home
that
Depot
was great.
tracker, yes.
Yeah, and how many tools? Like,
Yeah.
this is good. This is what men need to see before they embark on these journeys.
Exactly.
Totally. Yeah.
I will tell you, we are putting in a new floor in our kitchen, luxury vinyl plank flooring. So that's probably going to be a video, whether it makes it on this channel or something else. We'll have to. But yeah, people need to see the struggle's real. The struggle is real, my friends, and we need to
Keep the faith.
we need to rise.
Yeah.
John's like, stop.
As an agent, like I have like so many examples of like DIY gone wrong. I like should just like take pictures of all these and make a montage.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can make a video on that. That'd be fantastic.
Like hashtag should have hired a professional.
But that's like I do things myself that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, what the worst that happens is I just call somebody to fix it for me, right? So that's like, why not give it a shot?
Yeah, but with plumbing, it's if you screw it up on Saturday, you probably don't have it fixed until Monday.
There is that. So yeah, like when I one time we had a water leak outside our house because one of our shutoff valves was leaking all winter long, right? So water's just gushing outside our house. So I tried to turn the main water off, and the handle snaps off the main.
Ouch.
I'm like, okay, I think I got a call in the
That must have been the Zeus Titan really got a grip on that one.
Listen, I love the Zeus Titan. That's a great product. This is before I had an automatic water valve thing, and it wouldn't have picked it up either because it was all leaking outside. It was just flooding my outdoors when it was like 3 degrees outside or whatever. But
Maybe the Moen detects the constant.
that's right. Oh yeah, it has a little detector in the pipes that can see if it's So yeah, Moen, hook me up. Let's make it happen. All right, should we go? Now we're talking outside. Should we go outside here? Talk about some outdoor tech that we saw.
Do it.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
There we go. The grills. Yes, I mentioned the grill earlier. There were a few grills at the show. Weber, what was it? The Summit grill. The Weber Summit grill was phenomenal. It's a big grill, total smart grill. It has a little iPad app you can use on your phone, or it's got a touch screen. You basically dial in the temperature you want. It's got 4 probes, I think, for putting in your non-red meat, apparently. So it can and it'll tell you when to flip the meat. It'll tell you when to take it off. It has a little map that says if you want indirect heat, place it here, and it'll adjust the flames and everything. And then the one thing it had that nobody else has, as far as I can tell, is it had the infrared broiler on the top.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, for getting that sear. So that was awesome. And I would love to try it with some actual red meat sometime. So Weber, send it our way. We'll have a nice barbecue, and that'd be.
We'll host it at your house. It'll be great.
That's right. Yeah, Brandon and I can work together on this. He lives right by. We'll have a good time.
I'll be the taste tester.
Yeah. So that was cool.
If you guys should like barbecue up there like what, 2 months out of the year or
Yeah. Well, I mean,
3?
right now it's gonna be cold.
I grill in the winter. You gotta pull it up on the day. It's maybe not the safest thing in the world, but you pull it pretty close to the house. Sneak out there, flip some things around. But with that grill,
think about that video, Weber.
But that
I
would
used to
have
grill
a
all
little
the time in
thing.
the winter.
It would have I wouldn't have to go out and check it all the time. It would just like let me know. It would give me a notification when it's done, and I go out and take it off the grill. It's perfect. It's made for Minnesota.
There we
Yeah.
go.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
I wish it would like turn on by itself. That's the only one thing that I could figure. Like if I wanted a dream grill,
Yep.
like you want to preheat it like without going outside. And unfortunately, safety wise,
Yeah, that was illegal.
I understand why, but
Brandon's like, I've already figured out how to turn the safety off on that thing. I'll
Well, at least make it be on your local You have to be on your local Wi-Fi. At least then they know you're at home, right? I
Right.
get
Right.
you can't start it from Oregon,
Mhm.
right?
Just VPN into your own Wi-Fi.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, we're smart home guys, DIY smart home guys. We can figure that part
we'll
out.
figure out how to work around that. But
If it's Matter compatible, we can figure it out.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but they They had some other cool grills too, like the steam one, and they had that portable one. I mean, they're getting, and they even had like a cool smoker thing.
Yep.
That was cool. All with the app, the Weber Connect app.
Yeah, it'd be fun to give that a shot because it seemed like I make a lot of mistakes when I'm like, as far like a golfer, right? Like I'm like a 15 handicap griller, right? Like I can really do some good meat, but I can really mess it up too. Like this would bring me down to scratch in the grilling department, which I think would be pretty awesome.
You can always put the meat back on. You can't like undo the cooking. So I'm always there on that side.
Exactly.
I also like a good medium rare to rare. So
I'm completely opposite. Well done.
Oh,
we learned that about you.
do you put
I think we learned that.
do you put
and I
ketchup on that too? Is that a wow? Well done with the steak. That's
Yeah, I can do medium well sometimes, but I need to be done.
that hurts.
We found out that Pete
little
is a blanditarian.
Yes. But hey, listen, yes, I'm a blanditarian. I like bland foods, but I did have the chicken or the fish. What do we have? Salmon, smoked salmon,
Oh, salmon.
and we had duck. I had duck. It was the best duck I've ever had.
Yeah, duck is
The
really
only
good.
duck you've ever had.
It's the only
Duck's
duck
hard-
I've ever, it's the only
duck's
duck
hard
I've
to
ever
cook.
had, but still the
Duck's hard
best
to
duck
cook.
I've ever had. So it was good. I was proud of myself for
Pete, I'm pretty bland too. Like
Yeah.
my wife says, if it tastes like cardboard, Eric would like
you're all
eat
on
it.
board. Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't need adventures in food. Okay, I really.
You hand them a pepper shaker and their face just turns bright red. They just can't even handle looking
No.
at the heat.
No,
Yeah.
like Popeye's mild chicken, that's
Mhm.
my threshold.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we learned that about you too. Gosh, darn it.
Yeah.
John, you like spicier food?
I
Right?
do like spicy food. Yep.
My wife and I like it really spicy. So.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
No.
Anyways, we're getting a little off topic.
We
A
are-
little off topic.
Let's
Here we
circle
go.
back to
Back.
those
All
mowers.
right. There were two.
Sorry,
other-
everybody.
there-
You're
Weber-
hanging out with
Weber
us.
was
This is what
awesome.
we
By the
do.
way, where's my name tag? This is pretty awesome. My glowy name tag thing.
Oh, you kept it. Nice.
Yeah, so,
I left mine at the hotel.
but there were a couple other cool grills. There was an electric grill that had a very similar app to Weber's from Current Backyard that looked interesting, maybe a little bit George Foreman-y. But it looked like it had potential. But did you see that Sear grill, the infrared grill that was at, I don't know if they were at the show. They were definitely at, I think they were at PepCon or one of the earlier
Yeah,
shows.
I think it was Pepcom. I just felt like they were like nuking the meat, like they're getting it on its side, they're compressing it together, and then just hitting it with so much power. Like
I thought they were putting
low
hard
and
drives
slow kind of
into
guy.
a server.
I know.
It was like
Yeah,
building a RAID array. Here we go.
like it's ready.
Yeah, so
It's like
definitely,
you order it, and then the server comes back out 30 seconds later. Like boom, there you go.
Just do it at your table. Just,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely interesting to see if that works or not. But I'd never seen anything like that, so that was kind of interesting. Lot of we already kind of hit on robot lawnmowers. Yeah, there were a bunch of those, like we said, as well.
we gotta get them all, and then what we'll do is we're gonna create an obstacle course for them,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and we're gonna do
Yeah,
like
race.
challenges, and then we can really determine which one the best one is.
and we'll have
I
live
think the
animals.
Yarbo might win. It's kind of big.
Put live animals in there, and whichever one
Children.
kills the
Yeah,
fewest.
small children for sure.
Small children.
live animals.
Not so much animals. I don't want animals to get hurt, but small
But kill
children.
children. Oh, you have no problem. No problem with the small children.
Nothing that can hurt the lawnmower. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
And the nice thing about lawnmowers versus like smart vacuums, you don't care about the poop.
So
Yeah.
how do they handle the poop? Do they just go right over the poop? Is that?
Just keep on going.
What do
You
you
ever-
do with it?
I mean, I just go right over it. I yell at
There
the
you
kids
go.
because they're not doing their job for picking it up.
Right.
But,
We got a poop eater, so we got to pick it up right away. It's the worst, especially right now when it's -7.
oh, you got to go. Oh,
Run out
no.
there.
We won't pick up poop for 2 or 3 more months. It's gonna be
He'll even eat the poopsicles.
oh,
Yeah.
Gross.
No.
it's horrible.
That's why I got the track
Next-
mix.
Next
Dueling
topic.
track mix cameras out there just to watch them.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining in for our poop conversation, everybody. Hope you enjoyed
It was a very poopy conversation today.
All right. So what else we got? We got locks. A lot of locks. I did like the Lockley. That was cool. The what was that? The one that you could the visual one.
Facial recognition.
Yeah.
Facial rec- yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Like
I'd love to test that and see if we can trick it. Like, can we get a
Right.
photo or
That's
a
the thing.
video? And
Because when I did it with through the Starling Hub, you were able to trick it.
really.
So
that's a problem. That's concerning.
So like if I had a picture of someone had a picture of me on their phone, they could just hold the picture of my.
pretty much, yep.
That's
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure
I
they
talked
don't
to them
want you
about
to
it, and
be
they
sharing
said,
that widely.
It has to be like a 3D person. It has to actually be a physical person there. So, but if you're like a twin, like, what happens then?
Okay, a twin. Like, come on, that's
I've got a twin.
now we're talking edge case right
I
here.
have a twin.
Yeah.
I
A,
hope it
a
was
twin that you're like estranged from, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's a problem.
it's also a twin
Yeah.
sister, so hopefully that wouldn't confuse it too much.
Yeah, my wife lost faith in the Google doorbell when it said the pizza man was her. So Cassie's at the front door, and she's like, "Oh no, oh no!" So that thing is out.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm voting for a technology to stabilize around facial rec. Personally, I put a fingerprint lock on my parents' house, and they're in their 80s, right?
Mhm.
And just the pressure that you use when you train the fingerprint locks, getting them to repeat it the same way. When they trained it, they were doing it nice and gentle, right? And then when they come home, they're like, "Let me in the damn house."
Yeah.
And they have not, after all the training, they have not been able to get the fingerprint lock to work.
Have you tried to set up multiple fingerprints? Like, as
They
a separate-
each have about 25 of the 100 registered. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm now going, okay, well, a facial rec lock, but knowing my dad will come up and go, he would try to fool it to not open just to say the smart home tech is stupid.
Yep, that'll show your boy.
That'll show him. I'll show that little
They
whippersnapper.
hacked that lock again. Lock picks aren't a thing. Don't
Yep.
mind that.
But a lot of that thumbprint technology. Akara has a thumbprint lock. UTech. I mean, they had. That's the one you've tested. What's the one? Ultra Lock. They have the Ultra Lock. They were there at the show, and Securum also showed us a thumbprint lock. So
TP-Link had a lock.
no, I didn't see that. TP.
Yeah, TP-Link had a HomeKit lock with the home with the video.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, that what's it? The home key. That's a lot of locks are getting that home key pass.
Yeah.
Apple key. Yeah.
Apple key, right.
Yeah. That's really nice to have, actually. You just gotta,
That's my favorite way. of getting in.
and it's also cool to see like these companies are expanding as well, and so now they're offering switches and bulbs and all sorts of other stuff, and making it so that like, oh, you unlock your lock, well, it disarms your security system, or it turns on a light as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's pretty useful.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and somebody like TP-Link, their technology is pretty approachable, right? So that you can get into TP-Link. I know it's Wi-Fi, but you can get it local, and that's pretty simple for people to get into. I got a lot of respect for the TP-Link gear.
A good price point too, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And of course, we got cameras were rolled out. Reolink had a cool dual camera. Get an ultra wide view of your backyard. It's actually pretty clear with 16 megapixels or something. Very big, very very clear. Swan had and Abode both had long range cameras where you could like put your camera up to like a mile away or something.
Mile. Yep.
So
It was like some sort of special kind of Wi-Fi Halo or something. HALOW.
Hilo. Oh, it's Hilo.
Hilo.
Hilo. Wi-Fi Hilo. Something like that.
Looking at the email here, this is Halo, but whatever. Could have had a typo. She could have had a typo. Looks interesting though. I don't have a property that's quite large enough for that, but I do. I've run into clients where they're like, "Well, I got this outbuilding over here, and it's sort of like trenching, some Ethernet cable out there." I think this is a pretty good use case. Otherwise, their other option would be to have like a repeater, like a mesh network somewhere in there.
Right.
What I would like to do, and I probably couldn't get it. Like I would love to put one on the tennis court near my house, so I can see if it's open or not when I want to go play. I drive there all the time, and it's full, and I don't get to like. If I just check, is there someone at the tennis court right now, and then I can go play my little
There you
tennis.
go.
But,
You might have to camouflage it a
Right.
little bit, or people might think it's weird, but
Don't get caught.
I think you're onto something.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
everything, everything could go wrong. So that's kind of our my summary of the home tech that we saw. There was a lot of things around energy management, EVs. I don't have an EV. I don't know, Brandon, if you want to just kind of, did you see some of those the electrical vehicles that were there?
Oh yeah, I'm a big EV guy, so
I know you
it was
are.
fun to follow the space. So Sony, they drove out the Afeela on stage with a PlayStation controller, which is kind of gimmicky. The BMW, they took it a step further. They had a remote control car they were piloting remotely at very low speeds, of course, because of latency and safety again. Honda had some pretty futuristic-looking concept cars, which I'm sure will never come to market. They do have an SUV coming out this year, allegedly. But I think what was more interesting was the energy management side of things. And so at Savant, we saw they have their battery backup and their EV setup and doing like load management and stuff. EcoFlow had that portable battery pack that you could set up and plug it into your house, and it was on wheels and stuff, but very interesting. And then the last one, and we actually got to have dinner with the CEO, was Emporia. And so at the base, they kind of have this energy management system similar to Sense, where we're looking at what are your different loads using, but they're really talking about taking it a step further and taking advantage of like time of use, and then if you have an electric vehicle, doing the bi-directional charging, which I think is awesome because like a battery is expensive, and so just utilizing the one you already have in your car makes a lot of sense. But unfortunately, there aren't actually any vehicles that work with the system currently. Ford has theirs, but it's proprietary, and Tesla has it with the Cybertruck. But again, it's just that.
Why would you get a Cybertruck?
It might be a couple years out, but still really cool to see like the technology marching forward.
Yeah. So for those that don't know what bidirectional charging is basically you're able to charge the vehicle, but then you can also push that energy back into the grid, and essentially power companies some have time of use, so you can actually buy the electricity at a lower price and then sell it back to the grid when the price is higher to sell it back. So you can kind of save money on your energy bill with that, right? Is that
Yeah, or
Yeah,
even
that's
just
essentially
using
it.
your car as a battery backup source. So power is out, plug in your car, juices up the whole house. Obviously not a long-term solve because you want to be able to move the car too, right? But those with solar kind of is nice because it creates an isolated area, puts you on an island, which allows you to utilize your solar when the power is out, which currently, if you don't have a battery, you wouldn't be able to. So just like a very affordable use, or like a affordable way to have a battery, because it doesn't need to be permanent. So
yeah,
pretty interesting.
And it's all anything they can do to save energy is always a good thing, because we like our technology, we like our electricity, so let's make it better for the environment so we can still have our fun. So is there anything weird or interesting to kind of close things out here that we could that you want to share that you saw? Like,
There was the robot that looked like it would throw a tennis ball for your dog.
I actually want that. I have 2 dogs that would love that.
Did you ever figure out how the tennis ball got into the little ball cannon?
The dog would have to bring it over. Right? I got to train them.
You got to train them. I could just see my dog just going.
Holding the ball in front of it.
Yeah.
Like,
The robot slowly trying to come to get the ball. And it's like going, no.
I think the talk of the town for me, you guys might have seen my Instagram. I don't know how much we can talk about it here, but
don't go there.
that was
Handy was
Family channel alert. Family channel.
You can look it up.
but that was
I was
interesting.
like, shocked to see
We'll put that in the weird category. How about that?
That was
so.
I'm just saying, I didn't spend a lot of time at that booth, but the guy selling it was very enthusiastic about it. I walked.
Oh
by,
yeah,
he
they
was
were
like-
serious. They were like, yeah.
They were
this
like,
is-
yeah, this is how it works. Let's demonstrate. So yeah,
Next.
yeah. So that's.
Thanks, baby.
I guess we can end on that. Why don't we? Before we go, I just want you guys just if you want to tell people what you're up to with your channels here. First of all, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you guys being on the channel with us. And,
Always fun.
Hanging out with you guys in Vegas. But yeah, Brandon, what do you got coming up for us 2024 for the people on your channels and things?
Yeah, for sure. So I took a little bit of break here, but I'm back at it. I've got a tour we're recording next week. And so this house that we're filming at, he did a really cool thing on his wall. I don't want to spoil it, but he has 1 million views on TikTok just on the video on that alone. And so we're going to show that. We're going to show how he did it, and then we'll show the rest of his house. And so pretty excited about that. But other than that, I kind of plan on doing, probably 24 home tours is my goal for the year. Really continue to focus on that, whether it's luxury or do it yourself. Just kind of show like, here's the technology, here's how you use it, here's why it's beneficial. And so that's kind of where I'm at for this year.
Awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun. Eric, what do you have coming up for people?
More prog reviews. I think at CES this year I found the solution for my smart home door closer. Where now we'll reverse, so it's going to be a smart home door opener also. Hopefully the solution will work. We'll find out soon, but that's going to be coming this year. And lots of reviews, more Amazon stuff, vacuums, lawnmowers.
When you say door opener, is this like a regular hinge door or is this a slider?
This is a hinge door.
Still looking for a slider. Still looking for something that locks and unlocks a slider and opens and closes a slider.
I've seen stuff where that will slide it, just not the
There's a
lock
couple.
itself.
The power
The lock,
slide.
not so much.
Yeah.
It's more of just like the arm is in the way,
Yeah.
and so you wouldn't be able to open it. But there are some solutions. They're not the most elegant, but they're out there.
Well,
They're expensive.
That's the key. Something that's not like too mechanical and ugly looking. You
Yeah,
need
the
something-
power slide has it's a for a sliding door. It mounts up at the top of the door and it
Yeah.
opens. And closes.
That's probably the best one. The
Mhm.
guy that I mentioned with his dog, that's what
Okay.
has that. So check
What's
it
the
out.
protocol on it?
I couldn't tell you.
I think it's a Wi-Fi right now. It didn't have
That makes sense.
extensive
It's
compatibility.
got its own app. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, wrap it up.
He's out.
So cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, viewers, for stopping in and listening. Mark, this smart house. Thank you for chiming in quite a bit. Check out his smart home channel as well. Fred, thanks for chiming in quite a bit as well. And until next time.
Steve, thanks for being here. Steve has actually
Steve,
been with
yes.
this channel for 1,000 years.
Oh, round of applause for Steve. All right, thank you,
Steve.
Steve.
Steve's the
I
man.
apologize about the audio, and thank you for trying to help me. And I guess we'll test it better next time. So, yeah, again, thanks for watching. And
Thanks for hanging out.
See ya.
Thanks for hanging out with us and all our stupidity and poop talk.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Looks like we're